Welcome to Bella Confidential. This is the extended version of our topic for today on rape. We are with our guests and we're just going to stretch the interview just a little bit. Do you think that the punishment here in Malaysia is enough? DSP Zaitun, we'll start off with your side. What is it first and foremost? The punishment for rape?
Yeah, maximum 30 years now. With the stroke, different situation, different total of stroke. So the severe one is 10 stroke with the maximum 30 years in prison. But whatever it is, I just advise the ladies, especially ladies for rape, normally for ladies only. No other gender will become the victim of rape. Okay, so hopefully they know their rights. They should. They should know their right and then lodge a police report as soon as possible. When just now they said you can confuse after few days or hours after the incident. Yes, correct. But when you are confused, you didn't have yourself. You try to calm down and try to recall whatever evidence you have. Because I have a few cases. A very nice case, but because of confuse of time, the situations and everything, the case was thrown out like that only. At a matter of conviction already. So this kind of thing won't help you if you are still confused or still thinking what's bad for you. But you have to do something to help yourself to fight for your rights. Okay. It's your own, not other people.
Okay. Mian?
Well, I think my comment to balance up on this side is that perhaps, I think survivor and family members would try to remember that counselling does help. And especially, in fact, the aftermath of it, perhaps the counselling support could calm the person more, help the person to be less confused, less disorientated, and perhaps that would help in the investigation.
What can we, as family, as relatives, as a friend, do to help a survivor of rape? I mean, are there some no-nos in, approaching the subject, or what can we do?
Well, I think there is no right or wrong approach method. The best part is that to be there for the person, and sometimes don't ask too much, don't say too much, but it's just to be there to support the person through, even as simple as getting the daily, going through the daily life together, and of course, to be there to do whatever for the person, and to suggest, to get support from the women's group or from the counselling group, to work this through. Because, on the other side, they are facing the challenge of the investigation side and so on and so forth. So I think as family members and a friend, just be there, and just try to empathize. Because sometimes we don't even know how to empathize, but just try to empathize. That's what I could
It's not easy.
It's not easy. Because sometimes as friends and family members, we are also caught. But I think I think the difference is perhaps try to empathize and just be there. I don't know.
Do you think 30 years is enough?
Nothing is enough. So, but I think I would like to advocate that perhaps sometimes helping the family, the counselling for the family is essential on how they can help the survivor.
That's true.
Because I think that part is very lacking. How do we counsel the family member to support the survivor? Because we always focus on let's counsel the survivor. But I felt that this part is even very crucial because if they can actually have the sufficient energy to support the survivor.
And I think it's even more trickier if, let's say, the rape took place and it's someone of a family member, because there'll be two sides, like, how dare you tell people that your uncle raped you, memalukan keluarga kita je. That sort of feeling. And
how do you do that?
And families are torn. So that's another ballgame altogether. Ladies, your views on the capital punishment. Some people say they should just have capital punishment. Malaysia has right now 30 years as maximum jail.
Strokes.
And strokes. Ivy.
No, I think 30 years. Women's groups generally, certainly Women's Aid, we want to abolish capital punishment and corporal punishment. We do not think, the answer to violence is not another form of violence. Certainly 30 years is a long time. I think that is correct. We don't think definitely we do not want public torture. I think, you know, what's really important is there should be mandatory support systems. It cannot be left to a family who can afford counselling. You know, and there are certainly not enough women NGOs in Malaysia to go around counselling everyone, because, you know, we can just barely meet the needs of the Klang Valley. So there should be mandatory counselling. I think it's really important for us to constantly emphasize to the survivor that you're not to be blamed. And if I had to have a message, as I said before, my message again would be to the men. I think there are many good men out there who should stand up, you know, against violence against women. They should stand up to their male friends when they are behaving badly. You know, don't let it all be the responsibility of only women and women's groups and all of us. You know, how should we behave, where we should go, what we should do. Seriously, we should stop doing that. We should really need to get more men and society generally standing up whenever there is bad behavior from men. And I'm not only talking about rape. I'm talking about sexual harassments, sexism, you know, all of that, you know.
Tensi and Smita, representatives from Awam, what would you like to see more from our Malaysian communities, our societies, NGOs? What else can we do in order to prevent or to curb such things happening? I remember reading this Facebook share where they were saying victims that are most likely targeted are those who have longer hair. I know some things that I remember reading it very briefly, and something like, you know, if you want to prevent something from happening, if you suspect this person is following you, or, you know, you can, you know, make eye contact with the person and you know, to show that, hey, don't mess around with me, because normally what happens in the case of most rapists is that they just want to go in and get out of that situation. But if the person recognizes, like, oh, the person's actually talking to me, oh, yeah, this person's not going to be an easy target. I don't know. That's what I've been reading. What are your 2 cents worth?
I agree that it's important to, you know, like, take care of yourself, be aware of your surroundings and so on. But when we say that, what we're saying to women is, look, this thing about your personal safety is exactly that. It's a personal issue. It's a private issue. You figure it out. That's not what we should be spreading. That is a terrible message. We should be saying society is responsible. Our politicians are responsible. Our lawmakers, our police officers are responsible for ensuring that women are safe. Our men, our parents. So I would call upon Malaysians, and as a young woman, I'd say, can we please stop tolerating sexual violence? We tolerate it. We are so tolerant of it. We need to stop that.
It's true.
I think that there needs, because I mentioned just now about teaching children to respect each other as people, teaching, you know, adults, human beings to respect each other. I think that's something that needs to start from a very young age. Parents, just anyone, people watch you and then they emulate what you do, especially children. So one of the best ways to do is to make sure you don't actually, you know, say sexist things. You don't do things that can constitute as violence against not only women, against people. I just want to point out just now that it was mentioned that only women can get raped. I would like to respectfully beg to differ, because I think that men can get raped, but there are also transsexuals who are raped. But all these are not considered rape because of our current legal definition of rape. So it's important to remember that, once again, rape is not about sex, it's about power, so anyone can be vulnerable. But right now, the ones who are extremely vulnerable seem to be women. So for me, I really strongly urge the government, actually, because the government is in a position to do something, right? So I strongly urge the government to ensure that there's mandatory sex education. By sex education, I mean, you know, teaching people, children, to respect themselves, their self-worth, teaching them to respect the other person as a person, teaching them that it's not okay to treat someone, you know, differently just because they're female, or you know, and things like that. And yeah, so I think sex education, and also I think it's really important for us to try and fill in the gaps. I think we may have good laws, we may have good initiatives and good intentions, but they don't really matter so much if there are gaps that people can fall through and where the system doesn't work.
Yeah. Last but not least, Nick.
Thank you. I think it's very important to educate everyone, not just the boys, that sex is not about power. You know, committing violence, sex against women is not about power, but rather the lack of power. and that you're not doing us a favor, you know, by having sex with us. You're not doing us a favor. Some men think that, oh, she's a lonely woman, so we're doing her a favor. It's not, you know. Yes, that is the case, you know. So they think we are actually asking for it. I had 4 things to say. Now I've jumbled up everything. But as I said, you can create 1,000,001 excuses, but the one reason for rape is more rather the inability to exercise the power to control yourself, you know. So I had something to say. It's just that I get blurred sometimes and emotionally distressed.
Yes, naturally,
when I think about it. We have to be, when I walk around now, you know, on the street, if I'm walking at a lonely road, one hand is in my handbag holding on to my handphone to make an emergency call, and one hand is actually holding my car keys ready to stab. You know, that's how I actually walk nowadays. People think I'm crazy, but that's how I cross the road, or when I'm walking along the streets, that's what I do. I'm ready. When they see me getting ready, they think that, you know, oh, she's more alert. Being alert is very important too, to prevent rape. I think, I can't really remember now, but yes, those are the things that are very important for me.
Thank you for being very, very brave and sharing us your experience. If you would like to get more information with the NGOs that can assist you, we'll be flashing all the websites on our screens right about now. In the meantime, once again, thank you so much to our guests. If you would like to log on to the full interview, do go to tonton.com.my and find out more details with regards to this interview. Thank you so much. I'm Daphne Eiking, signing out.